Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Christine, and if you're new here today, thank you so much for joining me. If you've been here before, welcome back. In today's video, I will be upcycling and repurposing a few thrift store finds along with some DIY projects. So let's get started and let's create something. So for this first project, I'll be working on 3 separate wreaths, and the first 2 are these metal ones that I found at the thrift store. They're quite large and so pretty on their own, but I definitely wanted to dress them up a bit. So the first one I painted with Rust-Oleum paint and primer in white, and then I sanded down the edges just a little bit to reveal some of the metal and give it that distressed appearance. We'll be dressing this one up in just a bit. We'll come back to it. The second one I painted, you can see just the outside of the flower, and I left the inside intact, except for a few petals where I made a mistake, but that's fine because it just adds to the charm of it all. And then the third one we're working on is this coffee filter wreath. I actually purchased this one at a local boutique store, but you could definitely make it on your own. And when I purchased this wreath, I purchased this ribbon pack as well. And the ribbon itself was $75, which is what gave me the idea. I can definitely recreate this on my own. You can see they have this little metal clasp on top, and you just attach that to the back of the coffee wreath. I'll show you here in a minute. And it looks so adorable. But this has been hanging on my front door for a couple of months now, and a few of the ribbon pieces have faded and started to fray because of the snow and the rain. But I thought we could take this one apart together and just replace the few pieces of ribbon that have faded and frayed with some new fresh ribbon. I love that all of these ribbons are in the same complementary color palette of blue and gray and white. And the ribbon that they've picked out is so cute. The burlap, there's some ticking stripes and rickrack. Some have these little bees on it. And the fact that they are all different shapes and sizes and patterns is really what adds to the charm of this project. So for this project, you just need to purchase some ribbon that matches your own home decor colors. And the last couple of weeks when I've been at Michael's or Walmart, I've been picking up their ribbon that's on sale in colors that I really appreciate. So once we take this apart, you just want to cut the ribbon to actually quite a large size. Each of these pieces are 4 feet long. And then when you're making your cuts on the end, make sure to cut on a diagonal so it allows for a little bit of a pattern at the end. And then once you're finished picking out all of your ribbon, take one last piece of ribbon and cut it a little bit longer than 4 feet and tie everything together in a bundle at the very center. And then I'll attach this to the back of my metal wreath, and I'm hanging this on the outside of my back door by my garage, and it looks so adorable. I absolutely love this. For the second wreath, I'll be using these reds and pinks and whites and combining them all together. The more ribbon, the better as far as I'm concerned. I cut those all down to the same size, about 4 feet long, and then attached those to the back of the coffee wreath at my front door. And I love how the ribbon hangs down below the wreath itself. Even though the wreath is a substantial size, I love how it hangs below, and it looks so full and colorful. The last wreath I'm going to hang in a guest bathroom that we have. So I just took 3 simple colors that match a shower curtain that's in there right now. I cut those to a little bit longer than the wreath itself, and then put those around the center of the flower and just held those in place and hung that in the bathroom. And I love how adorable all 3 of these wreaths look. That pop of color, they're so pretty. The next project, I'll be working on these 2 little ceramic birds that I purchased at the thrift store. I think these are so cute and so springtime. One is blue and one is yellow, but they don't quite match my decor. I want to paint them so that they have that cement appearance. So you could really take any color of gray, but I just took a light gray. It's in chalk paint. And chalk paint is also very thick, so it helps to use chalk paint. And then I mixed half and half with baking soda, and the baking soda just creates this texture as well. And I just stippled all over on the bird itself, and I gave each bird about 3 coats, but I made sure to wait until each coat was completely dried in between. And then to finish this off, I took some white wax and painted it all over on the top of the birds. And the wax just sits in all of those low points and gives it a little bit more dimension on the feathers and the eyes and the tail. And these look so absolutely adorable. The next project, I'll be taking these 3 glass jars. The 2 small ones actually match, the glass on them does, the lid does not. And then I purchased a larger one. They don't even have to match, you just want different sizes. So I'm taking the lids, and then I have these little wooden knobs. I'll glue them on the top center of each lid with some E6000, which is just a really strong adhesive glue. And then I'll set those aside to dry for quite a while. After the knobs had all dried, I took them outside and painted each of the lids with the knobs in Rust-Oleum Winter Gray, and I love this color. I've used it on a couple projects, and it's just such a pretty pale gray. I gave it 2 coats of the winter gray, and then I went back in and finished it with a Rust-Oleum clear just as a protection. And then while those were drying, I took the jars, and the largest one, I added some Epsom salts and some Epsom salts that smell with eucalyptus, and they smell so yummy. And then the smallest jar, I added some Q-tips. And the middle jar, some big fluffy cotton balls. And I love how cute these look, and they're still practical for any bathroom. This next project, I purchased this single print at the thrift store, and I think it is so beautiful, this single flower. I wish I could have found 2 of them, but I didn't. So I went online and I found another single flower that kind of complements it on Etsy. And I purchased it for a little bit over $5, and they emailed me the zip file, which I took to Office Max and had them printed out on an 11 by 14. And then I stopped at the dollar store and bought a poster board for $1.25, and then cut that down to size to match the first print. And then I already had these 2 frames, but you could definitely find some at the thrift store. And I put these in the frames, and I think these are absolutely so beautiful hanging on the wall. This next project is this metal Believe sign, and it's got all that raised texture around the edges, and then the letters are each raised, but it came in a barn red. So I painted a first layer in black, and then I gave a clear coating over that. And then the top coat, I went in with this winter gray, which again is that beautiful pale color. And then I just took some sandpaper and gently sanded down all of the raised texture around the edges, and then just gently over the letters themselves, just to distress it back a little bit. And that black is now peeking through, and this looks so beautiful hanging on the wall. This next project is not even really a project, I just included it because it's a great way to use some baskets. I just got the right size of a basket, and the first one I just put on the back of a toilet seat, filled it up with some toilet paper and some wipes, and it looks so cute. And then the second one I just wrapped up some white towels, and then since it's for a Jack and Jill bathroom, I put a blue one on one side and a pink one on the other side. And again, it's just so cute. And the only reason I included it is because it's just a great way to use some baskets. This next project is just taking some planters and painting them to mimic the Restoration Hardware vessels and the Pottery Barn vases. And I took just a couple different style of planters, so hopefully it will give you some ideas. But the first one is just a ceramic planter, and the second one has a little bit of texture to it and a couple of different colors that we want to make sure to cover. And then the third one has some texture on the outside. It's a terracotta pot. And then I'm even taking a plastic pot that I purchased the plant in, and we'll give that a little bit of texture on the outside. So a couple of different variations, and once again I hope it gives you some ideas. But I just started out with some Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white and charcoal, and these two colors seem to work really well for me. The first planter that we're doing already has the texture on the outside, so I won't be mixing the paint with anything, but you cannot go wrong with this project. Literally, you just want to paint the color that matches your decor. You can use a beige color, you can use a gray color, anything that's pleasing to your eyes. For the ceramic pot, since it doesn't have any texture on the outside, I did mix this one with some baking soda, half paint and half baking soda, and it automatically creates that texture. And again, I just stipple them on, I wait for them to dry, and then just keep going back and forth with the colors until I get the color that I want. Same with this plastic one. I just used some chalk paint mixed with some baking soda to create that texture. And again, I want it on the lighter side, so I just keep going in and stippling. I get it as thick as I need it to be in order to mimic a vessel or a clay pot. And it is so easy. I love how these turned out. I think they're so beautiful. And then I took this little green ceramic pot that does have a little bit of detail around the top, and I did use the baking soda for this one as well. And once again, I just stippled my colors on until I got it as light as I needed to with those dark undertones. I hope this video has given you some inspiration to go out and create something new. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me today. I certainly appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you come back and join me for some future projects. Give me a big old thumbs up. It certainly helps my channel, and I hope the rest of your day is absolutely wonderful.